Nathan Wright was not the kind of man who believed in ghosts. At 24, he was a skeptic, a rational thinker, a science major with a passion for debunking paranormal claims. That's what brought him to Black Hollow Forest in October of 2018. His plan was simple: spend the night alone in the woods known for strange disappearances and emerge the next morning with enough footage to laugh at online ghost hunters. But Nathan never came back. Black Hollow Forest is located in northern Oregon, just outside a town no one talks about anymore. Once a logging area, it had been abandoned for decades, overgrown, wild, forgotten. But the stories never stopped. Locals whispered about the echoing man, a presence that could mimic the voices of those who entered, calling out to them in the dark. Nathan documented everything. He brought with him a GoPro, a voice recorder, 2 flashlights, a tent, and a notebook. His last recorded footage shows him entering the forest just after 5 p.m. The sun was already beginning to disappear behind the tall pine trees. He smiled at the camera and said, "Let's bust a myth. It was the last time anyone saw his real smile." The first hour of audio is uneventful. Leaves crunch beneath his feet. He comments on the coolness of the air, jokes about the Klitsch horror movie setting, and sets up camp near a clearing. Around 6:30 p.m., Nathan begins to explore deeper into the woods. That's when the tone of the recording starts to change. At minute 67, the first anomaly occurs. A faint whisper. Hard to hear at first, but when enhanced by investigators later, the whisper becomes clear. "Nathaniel." Nathan stops moving. His breathing becomes audible, heavier. "What the hell was that?" he says. Silence follows for a full minute. Then it happens again, this time louder. Nathaniel James Wright, his full name, spoken in a voice eerily similar to his own. The trees around him remain still, the wind absent. He turns in circles, shining his flashlight into the darkness, but nothing reflects back. "Nathaniel," the voice repeats. Only now, it's not whispering. It's crying. A soft sobbing, rising in volume. And it's coming from every direction. The recorder captures the sound of him backing up, tripping over a root, and hitting the ground. "Nope," he mutters. "I'm done. I'm out." He starts walking back toward the camp, but the forest seems to stretch unnaturally. His own landmarks, twisted trees, fallen logs appear unfamiliar or in the wrong places. He mutters that he feels like he's going in circles. His voice is shaking. "The path changed," he says. "This isn't the way I came." From there, things escalate. The voice recorder continues to pick up sounds. Footsteps not his own. Breathing that doesn't match his rhythm. At one point, Nathan whispers, "I can hear myself." But I'm not speaking, it's a statement. That chilled even the most seasoned investigators who later analyzed the footage. At minute 103, the GoPro briefly catches a shape behind him, tall, human-like, and standing still between the trees. Nathan doesn't seem to notice it, but his body stiffens, as if sensing something. He looks back, but the figure is gone. "I think I'm being followed," he says, barely above a whisper. Then comes the most disturbing part. At minute 117, his voice screams his name. Not a whisper, not a cry, but a shriek of terror and rage. "Nathaniel," the forest goes quiet. Nathan's breath catches. He doesn't speak. For 47 seconds, the recorder picks up nothing but the sound of a distant echo repeating his name over and over, each time sounding more distorted. The last 2 minutes of audio are corrupted. Investigators could only recover fragments. A few words, "He didn't leave," and "I'm still here, and a final breath not Nathan's. Deeper. Wet. Wrong. Nathan's equipment was found 3 days later by a search team. His backpack was intact. So was the tent. But the notebook was shredded, pages torn and scattered as if by claws. The last legible sentence read, "It knows my thoughts before I say them." The police closed the case with the label, "Lost Hiker, no foul play." Nobody ever found. Locals, however, refused to go near Black Hollow anymore. They say the forest is hungry, that it listens, that if you speak your name inside its boundaries, it never lets go of your voice. Rumors spread that Nathan isn't the only one, that others have gone missing, that the woods are collecting voices' memories, that the more people try to disprove the legends, the more the forest grows in power. Some say they still hear him at night, calling out to no one. One man, a retired park ranger, claims he heard a voice crying near the edge of the forest last year. When he got closer, the crying stopped and a voice identical to his own whispered, "Go back," he did. And he's never returned since. So what really happened to Nathan Wright? Was it psychological breakdown? A tragic accident? Or something older? Something tied to the land, the silence, the cold grip of a forest no longer part of our world? We may never know. But one thing is certain: if you hear your own voice calling from the woods, don't answer.